Hey guys, with the morning of quali, I'm heading up to Gondi. As you can see, the weather is pretty awful. I'm not super stoked, let's put it that way. It might make it a little less slippery actually though, because yesterday as it dried out, it kind of made the track worse, as Vali said. So anyways, we'll see how it is today. I'm going to walk down the track today and show you how the key sections have evolved. Like, you know, we're talking about yesterday about how some section might cut in, how it might be harder to do some sort of like some lines if it gets wet or whatever. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to show you what lines the rider have cut in yesterday and what is most likely to be the race lines. So I said yesterday that the top rut would cut in, but really everyone's just like slamming into that corner just there. Basically full tilt, almost no braking, and then hitting that. So no ruts at the top as I was expecting. So that's probably going to be the race line just there. So the ruts have solidified and they're actually freaking massive. Look at this, the tires just disappear into that rut. Some of the smart ones seem to be going inside though, which, I mean, you can always slide out, which is the probably downside of doing that kind of move, instead of just hitting that rut straight in, like you can see here. Woohoo! It's easier than yesterday, but it's sliding a lot, and you can see if you get off track, you're going to lose a lot of time.
So I've been here about 5 minutes and I'm noticing some of the top riders are actually hitting the rut on the outside and missing basically all the rocks, and if you commit to it, it is actually the fastest way to do it, but it's kind of with its risks, because if you carry out too wide you could clip this wall or at least that whoop sign, and that's a game over.
So as you can see here, they've actually added a like mat at the outside of that tunnel where everyone was crashing, so should give the riders more grip. And they've also made it a little like you know, a bit higher so they can actually grip onto it, which is, it's pretty good. It's a decent track change. The rut outside of this first tunnel has become freaking massive, where to the point where I think some people may be rubbing their pedals or bottom bracket somewhere. But it is pretty single line though, meaning there's not much choice. People just get into the rut, smash it, and come out and try to survive that like kind of flatter section.
Fucking Jesus. Thank you very much.
So Gracie seems to have come from there, get in that corner, slide out, and I don't know, I think she might have hit the tunnel or something.
No, she's,
but I think she's good and back and running. She's not happy about it though. I said yesterday it doesn't look like anyone's really hitting the outside line just there, because you came here and it's super tight there. So everyone's kind of going down there, but it's slippery and there's absolutely massive holes.
Nice job.
You can see how big the holes are here. Look at that. There's like, probably just get up to the hub if you ride on that. Holly, how are you thinking about the track this morning? It's changed again.
It has, yeah. It's got to that point where riders are going to have to really think about that balance, you know, because the fast riders will push. Most of them get away with it, and then some of them won't. So you've got to kind of join that club. But the balance is so fine, and actually it was really similar to that in Ludenville last week, wasn't it? With that, like, because of it was so dusty. So this week, now it's so wet, and it's that same thing. Find that right balance. The track over the years, though, because we've been here so many years, has got down to some hard pack. So most of the holes are good and already there or not developing, but there's one or two that are coming out and they're causing some problems. So yeah, we'll see how we go through quali today. It's going to be interesting.
So yesterday I did show you there's a lot of crashes here. There seems to be two lines, the low line, which kind of goes in here and then gap into the main line, or you can gap that route here, but it's actually kind of sketchy. Now it's even wetter. Like, the rut isn't really that good. Like, there's a good chance you slide out, hit that, and go and absolutely tumble down here. So the main line is to go, and the route is to go. However, if you're going to do it and risk it or not, it's kind of up to you. Alright, so currently it's not running very good. Don't really know what tyres the riders are going to go with, but I think this rhythm section and the jumps might be key in terms of like trying to keep speed and not case the jump, because they're actually quite hard to get on. So that might actually be a decider. If you get one jump wrong and you lose your rhythm, it's basically game over for you. How are you feeling, Valley?
Better than the run before.
How's the dirt now?
Just slippery everywhere now. It's really hard to adapt to the holes, and it's quite physical.
More than yesterday.
Huh?
More than yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So this section hasn't changed much because it's basically one line, so people just get in the ruts. Then it is a bit more slippery, but I'd say it's okay. I think it's after that it gets way worse. So basically they come from here, and then you either gap or you go on the inside here. However, with how wet it is, I feel like going on the inside is going to be really hard because it's a bit off camber here. So really doubt that any rider will choose the inside line. I think everyone's just going to go straight, gap into the corner, and hope that the corner holds you so you don't die and end up in that Michelin fence there. Steve, what do you think about this, let's say, evolving conditions?
For me, it needs to carry on raining now. The track's actually pretty good when it's wet, but it gets a lot slicker in between the wet and the dry, and it dries really fast on this hill. So if it just keeps spitting a little bit of rain all through qualifying, I think it makes it fairer for everybody.
Okay, so coming off the woods, you can go inside where ASI crashed yesterday or outside. Obviously it is now really slick, which kind of means the outside may be a little harder to get in and the outside a bit safer, but we'll see what people are actually doing in the race run, if they stick to what they did in training qualifying, or if they change to the safer line. This section hasn't changed too much either. Gonna go in, there's a couple lines, but just main line in. It's pretty rutted out, so it's actually pretty rideable. Fab, how are we thinking about tyres today?
It's tricky because you can actually tell that there is obviously a lot of mud and it's fairly greasy, but you can see a lot of areas where you are in the rut that you actually have got dry dirt or hard pack, and you got actually quite some bike parky sections. So you definitely do want to have like kind of cut muds where you can dig in the tricky off cambery parts, but you also want to have a fast rolling and dry kind of design to be able to dig in those areas. So it's quite a challenge, but I would say so far with the amount of mud we have, we're more towards the cut than the real dries.
Okay, and what would be How would that be if you just run a full mud?
The full mud is impossible on this track because you got too much proper hard pack sector with bike park where the tire will be floating above, and it will be too sketchy on those sectors, and you don't have the possibility to ride mud on that track.
Was it pound?
Yeah, 150. It was 150.
Oh, this section is this is real World Cup downhill in its prime. Myself and Jack Moyer, we would be ripping if we were on track.
Yeah.
This is what we were built for. But yeah, these are the days that we really enjoy at World Cups. When it rains all night, wake up to it raining, tracks like this, just real test. And I think we're going to be in for a good qualifying session. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited.
Alright, so yesterday everyone was going kind of middle here and hit that. However, now the gapping in there into that kind of rut and cornering here, it's pretty it's quite the gap.